The Nigeria Labour Congress made good its threat to embark on a nationwide protest today over the economic situation in the country. But in a last-minute twist, the NLC says it has decided to suspend the street action and extend its ultimatum to the federal government by 1 week. These decisions were reached at the end of a National Executive Council meeting to review the effectiveness of today's protest. Although the protest has been suspended, the union says it will hold a nationwide press conference simultaneously across all the states of the Federation by the state councils, including the national headquarters. And reporters were out and about covering the protests in Abuja, Lagos, Delta, Bayelsa, other states in the northwest, north central, and the southeast. Their reports.
The Nigeria Labour Congress is on the march again. Less than 6 months after a similar exercise, the Congress is worried about the widespread hunger in the midst of rising cost of products and the weakening of the naira. From its headquarters, NLC members marched through the streets of Abuja, chanting solidarity songs amidst heavy security presence.
It's suffering for the worker. You know, no worker can live on 30,000 minimum wage. And over 150 million Nigerians are living below poverty line.
Soon, the protesters arrived at the National Assembly with a letter to Mr. President through the leadership of the National Assembly.
No worker can build one room. We are suffering. As a matter of urgency, the federal government should announce immediate measures to stop hunger.
The parliament is hopeful of a near end to the current hardship.
We are sensitive. Our leadership are restless to ensure that we mitigate the issue of hunger, the issue of unemployment, and the issue of insecurity. But all of us must be on the same page. It's my duty, it's your duty. We must all agree and work towards making sure that Nigerians are safe, Nigerians are not hungry, and Nigerians are secure.
They have faced the same challenges. These economic challenges and hardship faced by Nigeria is borne by everybody. I want to assure you that the leadership of the National Assembly will look into your requests and demands and take swift and prompt action.
The Nigeria Labour Congress says its mission accomplished on day one of its mass protest. The resolution now is that its National Executive Council will meet later in the day to review today's efforts as it now takes a decision on the next line of action. Joke Yadsa, TVC News, Abuja.
At about 8 in the morning of 27th February, members of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) took to the streets of Lagos to protest against economic hardship in the country. Amidst tight security and watchful eyes of men of the State Police Command and Rapid Response Squad, the workers started a walk under the bridge in Ikeja and had a brief stop at Allen Avenue before proceeding to the governor's office in Alausa, Ikeja.
In unity, definitely, the freedom is around the corner. Nigerians today, let us rise and let us tell Mr. President what he's supposed to hear. And what do we need to tell Mr. President? Nigerians are hungry. There is hunger in the land. It is the civic responsibility of government to provide for us. And it is also our human right for them to give us all that we needed.
This protest holding here is only symbolic. We must carry this protest to our workplaces, carry this protest to our neighborhood, carry it to our streets, carry it to our schools. We must carry it everywhere because our demands are clear.
At the governor's office, the majority leader of the State House of Assembly received the protesters and assured them of the state government's commitment to welfare of workers.
We raised the issue and members deliberated on it extensively, and we passed a resolution to the governor to implement our resolution. And that's why we also want to acknowledge Mr. Governor for also implementing
our resolution in the House of Assembly. The committee was inaugurated and they started holding meetings. So at the end of the day, they will start implementing all these policies that the government read out during the last media chat.
It will be recalled that the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, did not join the protest. Officials of TUC, however, preferred solutions to the economic hardship facing the country.
The leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress here in Lagos State and civil society groups have been able to submit their demands to the Lagos State House of Assembly leadership. They remain resolute to continue this protest tomorrow. Sharon Ijason, TVC News, Lagos.
In a powerful show of solidarity, Northwest Nigeria joined the nationwide Nigeria Labour Congress protest, voicing discontent over economic hardship faced by citizens. Despite government's last-minute meeting with NLC officials, a two-day industrial action was not shelved, thrusting the organized labor into the public eye. In Kaduna State, NLC members were on the streets of the Independence Highway, demanding government's action on economic challenges. They also raised concern over worsening insecurity and called for improved efforts from the government.
We are saying there is hunger in the land, there is insecurity in the land, and people are not happy. These are the three messages. And you can see even from the screenshot of our banner, it's the simple message we are sending.
The politicians are not losing anything. The people that are suffering are the masses that are on the street and the workers that are going to work.
Kano State's NLC chairman Kabiru Inuwa led a determined industrial action amidst tight security. It commenced at Race Course Field and culminated at the government house.
We suggest a reopening of the land borders to allow food, cement and other essentials to come in. We have enumerated a number of issues that need to be looked into, and most of them were praises to the government actions or concern towards the servant.
The first day of the protest was peaceful in Katsina State, despite fears of interruptions. A peaceful procession was conducted under police guidance to deter possible distractions from hoodlums.
Nigeria is facing a lot of serious economic challenges. There is serious hardship being faced by all Nigerians, irrespective of your ethnic and religious background.
Zamfara State recorded a low turnout. Residents across the state united, demanding an end to hunger, improved security, more jobs and better living standards.
Now the bag of rice is above 70,000 and the salary wasn't increased, and the palliative that was shared with them, their personal self, and also look at the situation of insecurity.
I'm going to extend the message as delivered. Dr. Dauda Lawal is here to work. Is here to support the civil servant, the entire populace of Zamfara State.
The challenges highlighted during these demonstrations serve as a stark reminder that the socio-economic well-being of the people remains a top priority. As the nation reflects on these events, the hope is that this collective call for change will pave the way for meaningful reforms to address the concerns voiced. Lupe Asom, TVC News.
Workers of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, gathered at the Labour House in Lafia, the capital of Nasarawa State. They are protesting in solidarity with their counterparts from across the country to drive home their demand for an improved economy. The workers, who carried placards bearing various inscriptions, want the federal government to review its economic policies.
And this protest is a signal to the present administration to note that what the policy is on ground is not in line with masses and the workers of Nigeria. And that is the principal reason why we now call for this protest.
The protest was also replicated in Benue State as the state chairman of the NLC led the protesters from the union secretariat to the government house in Makurdi. The workers decried the effect of the economic hardship and are optimistic that the nationwide protest would yield the desired results.
As the president of the country, he told us that he was going to fix the country in order. Has the country been fixed? No! Has the country been fixed? No!
As we marched this morning to Government House in compliance, certain issues have also been raised I am not promising because I'm a messenger, but I've been handed over some notes here, and I will duly take them to the governor of the state for onward transmission to Abuja.
The protest was peaceful in Kwara State, as security personnel were on ground to forestall any breakdown of law and order. Addressing newsmen during the protest, the NLC chairman in the state called on the federal government to provide solutions to the challenges bedeviling the country.
After the second days, we believe the government must call them for roundtable negotiation, through which they will spell out whatever policy they have for the common man in the country.
In Niger State, the NLC was joined by civil society groups to register their displeasure over the high cost of living in the country.
We are not totally averse to the subsidy removal, but we are concerned about the deployment of the revenue accrued from that subsidy removal. You cannot be using that kind of a thing to service the politicians while you leave the Nigerian workers on service.
In Plateau State, the turnout of protesters was low compared to other states due to security challenges in the state.
Ours is peaceful for the time being, and we want the government to come into the situation and rescue the situation before it goes out of control.
The Trade Union Congress, TUC, did not participate in the protest, but members of the NLC say they are committed to continue the protest on Wednesday. Godwin Agwan, TVC News, Lafia.
Only recently, the Ohaneze Ndigbo appealed to residents not to join the protest as the president is working to address the economic situation. But this was defied as members of the NLC marched the streets of Umuahia to raise concern over the current economic hardship.
From the Labour Secretariat at Aba Road in Umuahia, members of the NLC marched to the government house to present their demands to the governor.
Cost of living is nothing to write home about. And we are asking, are we still in the same Nigeria where the house members, they use trillions of naira to renovate their houses, but the poor civil servant, the poor market women are allowed to die in penury?
Though the federal government recently paid the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities their withheld salaries, they joined in the demonstrations. They premised their protest on government's alleged failure to implement agreements reached between both parties in October 2023 following the removal of the fuel subsidy.
So we must know in Nigeria that we have two sets of people, those enjoying from our suffering and those who are suffering. People are enjoying from the suffering.
I can't buy a cup of rice is 500 naira. I can't even feed my children. I'm not happy. My heart is boiling.
So the message you have delivered now will go straight to the governor. Today, we buy food from the same market. What Nigerians are saying is that the suffering is too much.
In Enugu, Nigeria Labour Congress Enugu chapter stepped down the protest, acting on security reports. Chairman of the state chapter communicated the instruction to the members at the state headquarters, Enugu. He said they were advised to hold the protest within their state headquarters facility, which would serve as a veritable platform to drive home their message.
We want a Nigeria where people will breathe, where the common man will have a voice.
Nigerians are no longer breathing well because of the harsh policies of the federal government.
Security agents were also on the ground to ensure the protest is not hijacked by anybody to forestall the breakdown of law and order. Nina Gabriel, TVC News, Southeast.